What is going on, everybody? It is David Palmer, Leo King, and this is my show, Uncut Astrology, where I take off the mask and go deep behind the veil and give you this week's astrological forecast for the week of September the 28th through October the 4th of 2016. Make sure you say rabbit, rabbit when that October 1st comes. And boy, we have a lot to talk about this week, and there's a lot going on in the Leo Kingdom. That's right, I have my movie being released on Friday. So you can get that at inclusiveastrology.com, leoking.com. It'll be streamed on Vimeo. You can purchase it. It is my most deepest astrology stuff, why astrology has been suppressed, the age of Pisces and the deception, going into all the story of what the age of Pisces is about and why astrology has been suppressed, and a lot of other astrology goodies in there. You're not going to want to miss that. So make sure that you get that. My October horoscope will be released on Friday as well, that you can purchase too. And remember to share this video, because if you share this video, I will snail mail you this exact copy. I pick one winner a week, and I snail mail you this with a reading on the back. I do a quick reading, look at your chart, and give you a quick little fun little notation that I want to say about you. So share this video, and you have an opportunity, because I pick one winner a week, and I usually pick it on my live video like I did last week. I pick it live, so I show you guys that I'm doing it live. Also, please join me on the Leo King app, because you can watch my daily videos every day. You can get one video every day, not only just for all signs, but I also do all 12 signs weekly. I do daily text notifications, and there's also tarot videos on there. There's intuitive videos. There's so much on my app, the leokingapp.com. Now that we got all business put away, and you know, speaking of business, Mars has now entered Capricorn, and this is a big deal. You know why? This year, Mars was in a retrograde year, which means Mars was in two signs for pretty much this whole entire year. And now finally Mars has moved into another sign in its first Earth sign of the year, which is Capricorn. And Capricorn and Mars get along great. This is where Mars is exalted per se. This is where Mars does its best, besides in Scorpio and Aries. This is where we get things done, where we make accomplishments. This is also where Pluto just went direct coming into this week. So there's this real edge about wanting to achieve things, reach higher, make things happen. But that's difficult with this week. This is Libra time. This is where Jupiter is in Libra now. This is where hesitation can take. This is where you're unsure of which road to take in life. And that's the main theme of this week. Which road to take? It's very difficult to make these decisions, and frustration can mount. This is a very serious time, because what a way for the universe to teach us Saturn in Sagittarius. There are lots of options, but having to pick the best one, the one that's going to get you to where you want to go, is not easy. There's so many options. There's so many things. Relationships are at the forefront of this, not only because Venus is in Scorpio, but two, because this is a new moon in Libra week, which is going to end the last month and a half eclipse cycle. So the last 45 days have been nuts, okay? And have been extremely weird, a lot of karmic energy, and a lot that came your way to help you try and make a major decision in your life, which is happening this Friday and into this weekend when we get all this Libra energy. And it might become really difficult. You're not going to be able to please everybody. You're not going to be able to make everybody happy. This is Mars in Capricorn. This is Pluto direct in Capricorn. This is about you and the life that you got to take yourself. And you know, I think that's very difficult, because we can get caught up into our own sensitivities. Remember, we got Neptune now that is retrograded back to 9 degrees, where it actually went stationary direct last year. So we are now coming back into the first decan of Neptune, where it's like in the more basic aspects of what actions we're going to take in our life, where we're lost. And I think that there's a lot of lost energy. Neptune as well is going to be making a quincunx over to the new moon. So you got to realize that this is just a really confusing moment, that you're going to have to kind of make a tough decision this week. But this decision, once you make it, it's all gravy. It rolls you into the place you want to go. Jupiter square Mars, that's going to start beginning by the end of this week that we're talking about, is really about starting to drive into big places. But it can sometimes be a little bit too much if you don't have your plan together, if you're still in hesitation mode. I think that this is an important time for you to really start to look at your horizon in your life, really find the life that you connect with and the people you connect with. What kind of relationships really can get you where you want to go, and which ones can't? Being held accountable and drawing boundaries in relationships with Venus still in Scorpio and the trine over to Neptune is not easy. The sensitivities come up, and this is where the South Node is. how to draw proper boundaries in relationships, in projects, in things that are going to get you where you need to go. Not simple. We want to try and negotiate, and negotiation, I think, is very key. But you got to remember that Uranus is in Aries. This is not going to be an easy year of negotiations with people and relationships, because Jupiter is now in Libra for the next year. Uranus is in Aries for another year and a half, at least, right? So this is going to be a big, final, major relationship aspect for the next year. And this is going to be the very beginning of these major relationship decision aspects getting intense. You got to also remember that we've got in Scorpio, Black Moon Lilith and Juno, which are in very close conjunction, and Venus is heading towards that place in the next week. And I think it's going to even get more interesting over the next couple of weeks, relationships after this new moon, and with Jupiter square Mars, and with all this aspect happening in Libra, because it's almost like we're kind of at a big crossroad here, and it's deeper than just the partnerships. It is in your whole entire where you're going to go, especially for the next couple years. Because the next time that Mars comes into Capricorn in 2 years, is in 2018, when we're getting Saturn that'll be in Capricorn. We'll have Pluto that's in Capricorn, and Jupiter will be following right behind it, getting ready to come in. So these next couple years kind of rely on what the next 40 days really are going to be about, especially that we are out of a lot of the retrogrades. Mercury's out of retrograde. Venus is not in retrograde. Mars is not in retrograde. Now we got Pluto out of retrograde. We don't got a retrograde with Jupiter. This is a go time now. Now, even though Mercury is still in technical shadow period, you're going to see a ramp up in energy over these next couple weeks in this month. October is going to be building, making things happen, getting it all moving, the wheels turning in the universe. So this is a time for you to start to make those calls. And I think that's very difficult because there's hesitation. Am I making the right decision? And I think that we really need to see our true value, our true desires, and draw those boundaries and stick to them. I think it's very difficult right now for people to draw boundaries and stick to them. We get, people, I'm going to say this. Oh God, the real Leo King shit's coming out now. I did an Astro Buzz, which you guys should all watch, about the debate. And I also did about Brad and Angelina breaking up. But there was a lot of other messages in there. But I said this, and I think people get mad when I say this. It's like empathy is so important right now. But when you have the South Node on Neptune, we can let our empathetic compass be empathetic for things sometimes that become oversensitive about certain aspects of relationships, projects, people, and we don't draw the boundaries that we need to, or step into the reality we need to. It's like you could look at it in any aspect about anything in your life right now. Empathy is so important, and caring is so important, but learning to make sure that it's healthy empathy, and it's healthy taking care of yourself, and it's healthy taking care of the other person. This is a time where, it's very difficult because we're having to learn to put the oxygen mask on ourselves in a very weird way, and at the same time do that so we can help out the people we want in our life. But that whole oxygen mask on you first analogy kind of goes well when you're dealing with a Sun in Libra, Jupiter in Libra, and a Venus in Scorpio, while Uranus is in Aries. It's like, oh man, we've got to still make sure that we have a life where we really we come into the freedom of who we are, the true expression of who we are, and we're not restricting ourselves. This is a time where finally all the doors are opening in our life, and it's a very difficult decision to make. And it's like, wow, we can go anywhere. Don't waste it on something that you just don't feel 100%, and that's the hardest thing. What do you feel 100% on? Well, you know what it is? You need to go down to your bare bones. You got to go down to your primitive aspects. You got to go down to your reptile brain aspect. You got to go to your root chakra stuff. You got to go to your true carnal desires. When you got Mars in Capricorn, and when you got Venus in Scorpio, this has to deal with like more carnal, more deeper, more intense, more lower chakra stuff, making sure that lower chakra stuff is in the right place, so then you can travel to the higher place in your life and reach the glory and reach the higher realms. You can't go into a higher realm if you're taking a beanstalk from the wrong position. Like Mario can't climb up to get to the gold coins right now if you're not jumping up and hitting the little like question mark box that actually is the beanstalk. If you're trying to find beanstalks or find places to go and places that you don't really want to be and that you're not primitively knowing this is what you desire and want, and you're trying to play it cool, you're trying to play it diplomatic a little bit too much, and you're afraid to really be real and bring up all the facts and bring everything on the table and bring all the truth out so it can be fully examined between both partners, between both people, between both businesses, between everything, and make sure that that's all hunky-dory. Then at least you know you did your right thing. Then at least you know if a deal can be made in your life and this is the right thing, besides you just accepting a deal without saying with what you want to say. This is Mercury in shadows, Mercury in Virgo. It has a lot to say. Mercury is going to oppose Chiron this week, and I think that's the biggest aspect out of all this. Even though, yes, the new moon's huge. Yes, it's got Neptune in a weird angle. Yes, there's a dark moon in Virgo. We can talk about all these things. We can talk about astrology all day long. But Mercury opposed Chiron, this is the last time you're going to see it. Until next year. But it's like you're gonna have to realize that in order for you to be real, you can't let yourself feel like you're giving away everything without compromising what is reality, what you need to harvest in your life, what you need to manifest with. Everything is changing. We are moving into the whole other side of the zodiac. We're moving into a whole other season, a whole other half of the year. And this is the end of that last year, and this is a whole new road to come down to. And you can't let the past and past things, you need to listen to what past things have done, and past cycles and past life things, or even past subconscious energies that you can step into, not affect your clarity right now. Because clarity is going to be the issue this week of making these decisions, and that's why we have to go with more of a root chakra. We need to go with more of an intuitive aspect. And the root and the intuitive chakras need to connect and then make the decision. I don't think that this is going to be a good mental decision week. I think there's going to be too much weighing out. I think there's too much Capricorn. I think we need to look long down the road and make sure this is exactly what is good for us in the long term. And that will help you out the most. Other than that, though, I think that you're going to notice that once we get through Friday and the new moon and through the weekend, I think Monday, Tuesday look kind of intense, but good. There's going to be a lot of Scorpio energy. The moon and Venus are going to conjunct in Scorpio, and there's going to be, I think, some help. So even if you don't have the decision made by Friday, Saturday, I think as Monday, Tuesday start to come along, decisions get that much easier as that moon in Scorpio will help. And that's also where Black Moon Lilith is. That's where Juno is, and that's where Venus is going to be in a very close conjunction. All four of those really going to be lit up. All those making nice sextiles over to Pluto, making sextiles over to even Mars a little bit, and to Mercury. So there's going to be a lot of clarity, I think, by the beginning of next week, and what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. And I think that don't freak yourself out from Wednesday, Thursday, and even into most of Friday. You got to remember the new moon doesn't even happen until late Friday night for people on the East Coast, or people in Europe. It doesn't even happen until Saturday morning. So there's this dark moon phase Thursday, Friday, where we could freak ourselves out trying to figure it all out, especially in Virgo, especially in a T-square with all this mutable energy. And it's like, don't freak yourself out coming into this week. Let this week happen. Let it all kind of unfold. Let yourself see, and don't let that hesitation make you feel like and frustrate yourself that you're not at the steps or at the place that you want to be. It's one step at a time. It's more importantly making sure that you're making the right decision, and nobody can make that but yourself. And this isn't about leaning on somebody else's, oh yeah, you should do this. This is about what you have to do inside, and that makes it extremely difficult. Thank you so much for all your support. I truly appreciate it. I hope I went back to the old format because I don't know. I'm doing a lot of live stream stuff now in the studio, and I thought it would be much cooler to bring the old Uncuts back. So I did. And let me know in the comments below if you guys like me in the studio better doing it, where I show the chart and everything, or if you like the old school Uncut style where I'm in the back part of the green screen studio here at Leo King Studios. Thanks so much for all the support. I truly appreciate it. Hope to see you on the Leo King app every day. You can comment on that app as well. You can also watch my daily horoscopes, my sun sign horoscopes. There's so much in there, theleokingapp.com, and make sure that you download and get and purchase my movie, which is so awesome, Hope in the Desert, Age of Deception, all about the age of Pisces, astrology, suppression, and more. Thanks so much for all your support. I truly appreciate it, and I will see you on the next Uncut.